We
I
are.
may or may not be eating chicken.
You're good. So anyway, so we are live, and thank you guys for joining. Today in the podcast, we have Belly, we've got Dollinger, and we've also got Slotty Fast once again as part of the Regiment podcast. And thank you guys so much for joining. I think we're also live on YouTube. I don't know if anybody can confirm if we are, in fact, live on YouTube, which I think we might be, but let me just give it a double
I'm
check.
I'm trying to confirm it as we
Uh,
speak.
yeah, no worries. I'll check it. And it looks
Episode
like
episode 7, is it? Oh, that was 5 months ago.
yeah, it just came up for me. It just came up for me. But anyway, um, so right now,
Ooh,
right now,
that's a hell of a delay.
yeah. But right now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over, standard procedure when it comes to the Regiment podcast. As many of we've been running this podcast for some time, and it's really just a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to, um, get to know each other. Obviously, have the regiment, just being part of just being part of the community, having the regiment just having that ability to communicate out what we have, some of our members being able to express their ideas and to um, express their experience and what it's been like inside the regiment. But overall, it's really just to reach out to those who have not heard about who we are as a community. We are the regiment. We are a Milsim, Chilsim, overall community where we strictly, for now, focus on Arma Reforger as a game. We have been around for about 2 years now. We've been around for 2 years since this month of July. And so we're also celebrating our second year anniversary as a community coming together, growing in numbers. Right now, we're about 625, 626 members, approximately. And yeah, so, other than that, I think we have grown substantially, and we plan to grow our community to even uh, greater numbers, but also giving our members a great experience overall. And a special thanks to our team leaders, squad leaders, platoon leaders, keeping the regiment together. But also a special thanks to our Patreon members that have been great at supporting the community, great at making sure that the regiment is funded, and to make sure that the operations within the regiment are also ran effectively and with cohesion. So at this time, we do have several topics that we're going to be covering. And before we get to those topics, I would like to, have some of our guys here to introduce themselves first. We've got, um, we've got a couple of fine gentlemen as well in this podcast. But if you'd
Define
like to take a
fine.
moment, if you'd like to take a moment to introduce yourself, maybe what's your Discord, what's your gamer tag. You can answer that. You can also answer what games you play. Are you part of a squad? Are you a community member? How long you've been in the regiment? Why you decided to join the regiment? And just a brief overview of some of your accomplishments in the regiment as well. So I don't know if anybody would like to start. I'll hand the mic over to somebody else, and we'll get started.
Okay, I'll start. Did you hear? Am I talking?
Yes,
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay, good. Sorry. Yeah, I found our live broadcast on YouTube. Okay, my name is Slarty Bartfast, as you can see. I joined the regiment, I want to say at the new year. I think it was around January, February. I'm not 100% sure. Warlord could probably help me out with that one. The main reason I joined was because I'd started playing the game I'd been led here by my daughter, who insisted I needed to buy a gaming computer. So I finally broke down and bought one, only because I wanted to play Arma Reforger, because I'd seen a lot of YouTube stuff about it, and I thought that looks really fun. So I joined, and it was fun, but it was confusing as hell. And then, by some freak accident or luck or whatever, I ran into, I believe it was Tova, in the middle of a match, and he said, "You come with me. We're going over here." And I found you guys, and I joined up. And it's made playing Arma Reforger a much more exciting and fulfilling achievement than it ever was before. You feel a part of the group. It's a lot of camaraderie. It's almost like being back in the military, which I was in previously at a much younger age. It's made me have a lot more fun playing the game. I've learned a hell of a lot since I started playing new strategies. Didn't realize how many different versions of playing the game there were: PvP, public stuff, your own private servers. So yeah, I'm having a great time. I think my main role is usually driving trucks around, which I don't have a problem with. But I'm trying to learn how to kill people better. So that's where I'm at. Next player, please.
I go by Get My Belly Baby, and I'm sure if you're older than 30, you get that reference. I'm primarily a console gamer in all my life, but more recently I've been playing Arma on PC, and I primarily play strategy games. So it's that aspect of looking at the map and seeing what needs to be done and seeing where people need to be that kind of drew me to Arma. That and also I've always wanted to play something better than COD, I would say. And so I was just playing on some pubs, just the old legacy servers. About maybe like my first week back in January, I happened to find the regiment playing in a game. I was rolling with them, and I found myself being like, yeah, this is kind of what I'm looking for. Is because these type of games I find to be not very good to play solo. So I found them, joined up, and it's been around since.
Does that mean it's my
Dog.
turn?
Yeah, you're up, buddy.
So, hello. My name's KS Dollinger. I've been part of the regiment 3 or 4 months now. I've always kind of been into milsim type games. I'm a console player, so Squad has always been out of my reach. Arma was typically out of my reach, and then Bohemian Interactive was like, "Hey, you know what? Maybe console players would also like to play a milsim game." I think I've got like 300 hours in Reforger, and Belly was actually the one that recruited me to the regiment. We were playing on Arland, and I was by myself in a BTR. Had just gotten killed. Jumped in the BTR back at main base, and saw all these guys getting in a convoy together and rolling together. And I'm like, hey, you know what? That looks fun. And Billy's like, hey, he was probably trying to keep me from losing a BTR, but he's like, hey, you want to join the regiment? So join those guys, and I've been playing with you guys ever since. I don't regret it. It's been super, super fun. I think when you're playing like a milsim type game, it's always fun to jump in and do whatever. But the I don't know feeling that I get when you see a bunch of guys rolling in a convoy together, or you're pinned down, whatever, and someone looks, you look over to the hill on the third day, and there's a beaming light, and that is typically Warlord. But no, I've had a lot of fun with these guys.
Warlord, over to you.
Sorry, what?
Are you still there? Stop
Yeah,
fapping.
we're still here. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think everybody here's got good stories of how you joined the regiment. There's a lot of guys in the regiment that obviously have their own stories. Which is why we're doing this podcast, right? So if maybe the next time you want to be part of this podcast, just um, just call it out. We're going to try to have these podcasts maybe once a month, twice, once every 2 months, monthly or bi-monthly. But it's a chance for you to get your voice out and just to be heard. So anybody that's hearing this podcast, you're more than welcome to join us, and it's going to be truly a wonderful experience. So let's go ahead and go right into the meat of the conversation here, and we're going to basically go over 4 different topics. Well, the first topic we're going to go over are just some basic questions regarding the victories that we've had, the successful victories that we've had against other discords out there. The second topic we're going to be talking about is the future of the regiment, as a player versus player dynamic that we've been engaging in. Third topic is mainly about the leadership, but platoons, squads, and rank progressions. And fourth and fifth topic are just about the Patreon, the regiment platform. As you guys know, we do have our own platform in the regiment, as well as the fifth topic, which is the future campaign roadmap as well. So we've got some pretty interesting topics coming forward. So we'll start off with the first topic, which is our victories against other discords out there. So I'm just going to throw this question out there. If somebody catches it, you're more than welcome to respond to it. But in your guys' opinion, uh, what do you believe helped the regiment defeat not only the last Discord that we went up against, which was ATO, Arma Takeover, plus Hellcats, but also the 40 squad as well. What do you think it was? Was it preparation? Was it just leadership? Was it only communication? Was it individual skill, or was it something else? What are your ideas behind this? Like, what do you believe helped the regiment defeat these other discords?
Well, in my personal opinion, I would say it was all of the above. We had the better team coordination, we had the better planning, we had the better leadership, we had the better discipline, we had the better gun skill. And for the other teams that thought they can just play it like it's COD and just rock up and just get kills and push, 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 win, 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 have no strategy, have no coordination, and you take a look back at the old footage, it just shows in the match that they were lost, and we were on top of things, and that we just outmaneuvered them, outgunned them, outplanned them, out everything them, and it just shows.
Yeah, I think like Belly said, I think it was mainly part of everything that we normally do. The training we've had, the strategy we use, the way we move around the battlefield, and also, unfortunately, I think their own lack of planning and lack of skills and lack of tactics also helped, because I got the feeling after about half an hour that they were already like, well, what the hell are we doing? We're getting our ass kicked. And I think a lot of them just gave up and just stopped playing the game. They just seemed to fade away because they weren't ready for what was coming. And that's the thing we need to try and push, I think, is not only keep our game up as the high level that it's at now, but it inevitably get other discords to get to our level, so that we can hey, who's Matt Six Bar?
That's what sets us apart, Bart.
Exactly, but we need to find other people that are as good as us, or will give us a decent game. Because let's face it, even when we were in the ARCL and apparently up against top discords, no one really gave us a game. I mean, it was all over by the shouting. So, who's Matt Six Bar? He says, "What's up, fellas?" Someone else is watching the live feed like me. I think there's now 2 viewers. So what do you think, Dollinger?
Yeah, I agree with
Lewis.
everything you guys said. I 100% believe that, and I'll say this. I don't think this has really been touched on. Sometimes I really do think it is luck. I mean, you can train and practice as hard as you want, but sometimes all it takes is one person being in the right place at the right time, and your LAV, Logi truck, helicopter, whatever it is that you're depending on, goes down, and whatever plan you had goes out the window. So sometimes it is dumb luck, but also being able to think quick on your feet and being able to communicate with your team effectively and efficiently, I think are your big things that, and then planning, right? Those are your big things that make a huge difference in your game. Sorry, I'm cooking eggs right now, and I'm trying not to burn them. But those are the big things that, in my opinion, we 2 days before we went up against 40 squad, we were on that map, timing ourselves, seeing how fast we could get to locations. Splitting up, designating roles, who's doing what.
Yeah.
And I think that that is awesome. That's exactly what I joined the regiment for, was for that cohesion, training and practice. So
Yeah, that's what made those two matches slightly diminished in my eyes, is because we got all that training started when we got in the ARCL. Warlord came up with strategies, and everyone had an opinion, and things changed as it went along. But by the time we got to full competitive matches, it was obvious that most of the people involved against us weren't anywhere near as prepared. And in my honest opinion, they probably should be if they're going to be in a competitive league of anything, even if it's playing cards or darts. Surely you want to be
Well,
good at what you do.
that's what happens when you have newer communities and such. It's like everyone wants to be the best. Everyone wants to compete, but then when it actually comes time to do so, that's that you get kicked in the teeth and you realize that that's not the type
Right,
of
they
armor
don't.
you want to play.
Well, yeah, and it's what's that famous line? I think it was from Mike Tyson. Everyone's got a game plan until they get punched in the face.
Pretty much.
And that's exactly what it feels like when we play against other Discord. It's like, okay, we got our strategy, we run with it, we know what it's doing, we know what we're doing, we know what we're doing if somebody dies and they shouldn't. We know what to do on. We have two alternatives. Every time there's something changes, we know there are other options. Everyone just sticks to their plan, and then the other team suddenly realizes, wait a minute, they're coming from fucking every side, and they kind of get disheartened, I believe.
I think that
I do if I do also think that it is also just a leadership gap too, because there are multiple times in those two PvPs where things changed last minute and we were able to come up with an entirely new plan in like 30 minutes and made sure that everyone understood what they were doing.
Right. Well, just the communication and the training. I mean, I must admit, I only stayed in the military 6 years, and to this day, I realized I should have stayed in the military, because it was just, once you get out in the real world, it's like, Jesus, you guys are all fucking disorganized. You don't know what's going on. Unfortunately, I went with the crowd, and I stopped being the organized person I was when I was in the military, but I got it back.
you're doing good, Bart.
Everyone,
You keep us in shape. You keep me in shape.
everyone
Yes.
wants to be a hero, but once the responsibilities of the hero comes down to you, you suddenly disappear.
Exactly.
I think it's not just on leadership, right? Like, I think our leadership is good, but we have guys that listen. Like that, you can't overlook that fact, right? Like, you can have the best tactician. If Sun Tzu comes back and he's like, "All right, guys, this is how we're going to play Arma. This is what we're going to do." That's great. If you give him a bunch of 15-year-olds, 20-year-olds that don't have any interest in listening and executing those plans, it all goes to crap anyways.
Oh
So I
yeah,
think
most
that's a good
definitely,
thing
and
to mention.
that's where our discipline comes in. It's like we're very much
Right.
more disciplined group.
I think people learn it very quickly if they enjoy being in this kind of situation, in this kind of team. They'll understand pretty fast. If they stick with it and it works for them, then fine. But a lot of people will be disheartened thinking, oh, it's way too military, it's way too organized, like too much pressure. But then that's how we keep recruiting and we keep finding the right people. That's how we build it.
Well, I would say that we're not even like really OD doing it. We're just keeping it like simple, straightforward.
Oh no,
Like
exactly.
dummies can
Yeah.
understand.
Yes. But again, as Dollinger pointed out, it's finding the right finding the people to understand it and stick with it. Yes, it is very basic. But a lot of people, when they play a game like this, I believe, they're in their minds, they're playing a game, and they could, like you said, they could treat it like what was fucking hell? I can't remember the names of any of the games now. Battlefield, Battlefront, or whatever. And
Battlefield, COD.
yeah, all those games that are basically set on you being an individual player and fighting your way through a set of obstacles and getting to an achievement and then getting to the next one. Whereas this is slightly different because there is no linear line for you to follow. It's basically here's the map.
I mean, Armor definitely does have those aspects, but like you have to be very, very, very good, and even then, there's only so much that you as a individual player can do.
Right, and it's finding the right players to do that.
Yeah.
As Matt just points out, all the training makes the experience better.
Yeah, so basis that what lessons from these victories should become part of our training and match preparation.
I think basically sticking to the tactics, as basic as they might be, just sticking to the way we do things, and getting better at communication, and making sure everyone's staying in contact. Other than that, I think at the moment we're doing very well, as previous victories would show.
One of the things that I think we can touch on or mention is no one, well, with the exception of a couple people, no one wants to run Logi. No one wants to sit there and sit at a point that, isn't seeing any action. But those are very important and integral roles. I think in the context of Arma, right? If you're not getting supplies to your fob, or if you're not getting supplies to key bases, you're not going to be able to spawn at them to defend them. You're not going to be able to throw up your defenses. You're not going to be able to stand your ground, much less launch an assault from those bases as well. So I think that logistics is a very mundane, okay, I'll do this because I have to type task. But without logistics, you're losing the game.
Very true.
Most
And I must,
logistics is very important.
I do my best even in the public games when we're playing on 6075 or whatever. I try to do the logistics, but I must admit I do enjoy the running around killing people part too. So I have to decide whether I want to run around and kill people or if I want to drive a truck. But then when I start driving the truck, I'm like,
trying to kill out of you, Bart.
Yeah, like when it comes to public games, I think it's fine. Like it's fine if you just kind of do your own thing. Sometimes you have other people run logistics. When it comes to regular conflict mode, what you have is, you have that situation where you don't. You don't have to run Logi, right? You don't have to run Logi as much because you already have the towers and Legacy already, already resupplying the points. I mean, that's typically how Legacy works, right? But then you have HQC, and HQC, you really have to have somebody either running supplies, or that's why you have to have the AI running supplies. So
yeah, but the AI running supplies suck.
Yeah, they do suck. They're terrible. But
I just shoot more than one.
Yeah, but that's how the game works. And I think with just some guys stop playing the game because of that same situation. Because the new HQC mode is kind of it gets closer to a simulated. There's more technical factors involved. There's more
Yeah,
You know,
there's more little things that have to work together to make
yeah,
it work properly.
HQC steps away more and more from the individual player. It goes into more of the team aspect. And unfortunately,
yeah.
how Revorger, built their community at the start, they're a lot more individually oriented, and that shows a lot in the modded servers.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
There's no
But
teamwork.
but I think that that's another thing. I think we have to start getting back. This is one conversation that I have. That we had in the Discord chat, which was trying to get back to the roots. How we used to practice. We used to practice like we used to just practice for actual like legacy conflict servers. Like even if we were not playing against other discords, like we would practice on there. Like we would have a day or 2 days a week to practice playing on conflict public servers, and we would run um, you know situations, or we would run scenarios where I had one squad running one direction, I had another squad running a different direction, I had another squad running the central part of the map, and those squads had we were essentially trying to win this match as fast as possible, right? um Obviously, like, you have to get through, kill the AI. After you kill the AI, okay, what's the next step? You build the base. How quickly do you have to build the base? How many people needed to move forward? How many people needed to scout the next location? um you know there's quite a few things involved in there that the squad leader had the autonomy to actually process to move forward. But now we're not doing that, and because there's not a whole lot of legacy conflict anymore, and those servers, the only two test legacy conflict servers available are full about 90% of the time. And I think Matt here is putting up some interesting um conversations here. He says, I get it. All the training makes the experience better. Something I recall. Trust your team leader. Trust in the plants. May higher up the chain. Um, we were cleaning houses with little no talking. See upstairs, stack up. Don't need to talk about it. Just do it and put it in the work. Comes from hours and hours of playing in the same. Yeah. So preparation is something that we do. Preparation is something that we are proud of. Like obviously, there's a good old saying that says, by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. And I think there's a lot of discords out there that do not prepare. They don't. They assume they assume too much, right? Confidence runs high when you have you know abundant ignorance. When there's an abundance of ignorance, you have high confidence and very high expectations. And when you're high, which is kind of ironic, right? When you're very high on expectations, um, any little thing that happens, any little um, things that goes wrong, will just bring you down. Like your high expectations and your ignorance and your um, you're so high on your achievements that maybe you beat other discords in the past that you forget that, hey, there's other discords out there that are better prepared, that go through tasking much better, that coordinate to another level. And the regiment wants to see, we don't want to see other discords um, disappear. We don't want to see other discords um, you know go through those stages of of dissolving, right? We want other discords to grow, we want other discords to do better, we want other discords out there to connect with us and to play against us, but do so in a way that for us is challenging, to where we can challenge ourselves, like in that particular way. Like we're not just coming up against another discord that's challenging, but at the same time we want that because in a way we're challenging ourselves to do better. Like and then some, you have some conversations with some people that say, well, it's just a video game. I mean, okay, sure, yeah, you're right, it's just a video game, but you know what about the people that play golf? Like, do you think they're just gonna, I mean, obviously it's just a game, it's golf, right? Or people that play baseball, right? Yeah, it's just a sport, right? It's just a game. People that play football, right? um
Wait,
what
wait.
one after practice?
Football or soccer? Sorry.
Football, soccer, it doesn't matter what it is, whatever sports out there, like,
I know,
it's
just
no
being a
different.
Sean.
Yeah, it's no different than what we do. It's no different than how we organize. It's no difference at all. You can justify however you want, just to, maybe maybe I'm saying too much, but maybe to give comfort to your mediocrity, perhaps. But that's not who we are. We're
Right,
not.
and that shows when we
It
play against
shows.
other discords at the moment. Matt
I
seems to be happy that we play against other discords. I think Matt
yeah.
wants to join.
Yeah. So, like, this is one thing, guys. Like, we gotta hold, and when I say, like, when I say
Ice
it in this
curling.
context, when I say in this context, is we should not be mediocre. We are not mediocre. We are not,
Right.
we're not laid back. Some people are. I'm fine with it, right? Not everybody's gonna be high performance, high value, um, you know, high victories, and obviously being the best, right? Like, that's fine. We're fine with it. We're happy with that, because we all, we're gonna have some easy opponents in that case, right? Um,
Right.
but we're not going to be that, and we're not going to go down to that level. I will not allow the regiment to become mediocre, and to just be like any Discord. And I don't expect you guys to have, like, to meet at that expectation. But
But to strive for it, you have to strive to be good.
yes, absolutely, spot on, Bart. Like,
You don't strive to be mediocre. Anyone can be mediocre.
But
yeah,
there's a reason games like this are popular, right? Like this certainly isn't going to have the following of Call of Duty, but there are people. I mean, you can tell from the long list of queues for the legacy servers or for other servers too that this game does have a following. It is popular. Squad, Arma, Hell Let Loose. I mean, the Milsim type games have people that play them, and you play them because you want that experience. It's fun to you. It's not fun to everybody, but you also, it's one of the reasons I hate FIA. They want to talk about how they can do so much sabotage and delay the winning.
Yeah, you got a little bit bent out of shape the other day with that. Damn. But
But
Warlord's
I
with you
personally,
100%.
I personally think that the only reason to play FIA is if you actually have a small group of guys that will actually coordinate with each other. Because if it's just like randoms and shit, like nothing ever gets done. They don't, because the purpose of the FIA is just to slow down and harass both factions. But half the time, what happens is
Right.
they just sit in the bottom of the map and do fuck all the entire game. You know, like
Yeah.
they're meant to fortify a main objective that both factions are going to attack. And once they lose that, they just harass both factions. But they just don't do that. They just sit
and
at
that
the bottom of the map and do nothing.
and
There's no
that's the
coordination between them.
exactly that's the point I was trying, getting at is these games require, like, just like with baseball, you have to hit the ball. With Call of Duty, you have to get kills, or if you're playing domination, you have to stay in the point, right? Like that's how you win. Communicating with your team effectively, and working with people is how you win this game, and it's enjoyable. It's a much better experience when you have that. I really cannot express. The trainings are fun. The game master that we did yesterday, even though it was a rough start, it was still super fun. I mean, just because even if you're not working on a specific set of skills, you're still working on your communication and your squad cohesion. And It's a core component of the game. The Bohemian Interactive has made it that way for a reason.
Well, to answer Matt's question, just join the Discord and play pubs with us. When we do host PvP trainings, like it's very straightforward. You know, playing with us long term and all that. Like we get to know your play style. We get to know what you're good at. And that makes it easier for us to assign you a role within a PvP if we ever do one, which I'm sure we will again in the future.
Now we've got a training next Saturday for one.
It's not a training, so it's an in-regiment PvP.
Oh, I'm sorry, enragement. My bad.
It's a
Yeah,
scrimmage.
it's this Saturday.
Death of Liberty for life. I'm gonna get a tattoo of that on my left butt cheek.
God, it might be a step too far. Right, what's our
Actually,
next topic, leader?
We haven't had losses. That's my bad. We only 2 losses, and we only lost against once. We lost against Rome Platoon, and the other time we've lost was against Band of Beardos.
And might I add, we've
Those
beaten
were the
Rome
only times
Platoon
we
many a
lost.
time.
We've only lost. Well, this is the thing, right? Like when so what happened real quick? Rome Platoon, we lost against them the first time because we went in and we didn't have enough people. They outnumbered us, and so obviously they managed to outnumber us, and we didn't have enough people join in, and so we could have just called that a skirmish or something else, but I was like, okay, you know what? We'll let them have that win. Other than that, every time we played against them, we beat them, and which have been multiple times. I think about 5 times, and the other one was against the Band of Beardos. And what happened with that one was we didn't have proper training. We didn't train properly for AAS, and there was a ticket system. So we didn't lose the game. We lost because we had our tickets ran out. So it was like Battlefield, right? You run out of tickets, you lose. And so we were not expecting that. We didn't know how the ticket system worked. They had a specific way the ticket system was actually working. We were holding out very well. We had more players, but at the same time, I think we had about 10 more people than they did, but we were sending people out in waves and just getting killed, and we were obviously losing tickets that way. So
unfortunately,
we
with
had a game
a AAS ticket system, it kind of incentivizes you just to not ever push and just to camp a bush. AAS in general, I think, is just not good, and that's just because once you get into those higher brackets of players, like 20v20s, 30v30s, it's good if it's like a 15v15, but when you get to those higher player counts, it just becomes a mosh pit. It becomes a meat grinder. And you lose out on more of that strategy and more of that planning aspect.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think about the future of Regiment and player versus player battle events? Should we focus more on internal events? Should we focus more on still scheduling against other communities out there? Should we keep it formal, competitive?
Well, I think we should plan a training session, every at least once every 2 weeks until we get an actual competitor, for which then we go into the hard training, and then that once every 2 weeks is our normal trainings that we would against another Discord, just so that the new people that hopped in and stuff can know what to expect. And then when it comes to facing other Discords, I'm sure we'll find more. We always do. It's unfortunate that the ones that we have faced either rage quit or disbanded. But I don't see the PvPs really going away. Hosting internal PvPs, I think, is also a good idea. It just gives some time for our guys to go up against each other, to play at that higher skill bracket that we're used to playing ourselves, that we don't really get in pubs and that we don't really get versus other Discords. So, if we have to
I
play
was
against
just
ourselves, then we play against ourselves.
I was wondering when we set up a match against another Discord, how does that conversation start? How does it get? How does it go between us asking what they're doing, and is there any way that it can be made very clear that we are not to boast or be bullshitters or anything, but let them know that we're pretty good at what we do, and we're very happy to help you out. But if we start to beat you, don't get discouraged. I mean, the whole point of this is to teach
Well,
you or whatever.
Bart,
I don't know.
that's quite literally and what happened with Forty Squad was they approached us because we won the ARCL and they wanted a taste of that. They wanted to go up against us in order to prepare for the ARCL themselves.
Oh yeah,
And
that's what I didn't understand about how they took it. It was like, what the fuck did they expect?
yeah, so they wanted to go up against us to prepare themselves, and
Test their
they
metal.
got yeah they I don't know if some of their members thought something different, but they got a different experience than what they were expecting, and
Oh, big time.
unfortunately, it didn't go well for them.
I think the term ass handers used. I said, here's your ass. We've used it. And apparently they
It's
took
well
it.
used.
Yeah.
Bart's brutal, man. Bart's relentless. That's what we love him. But yeah, so yeah, that the whole conversation just came out about that. I think they approached me. They approached like they wanted to get a conversation on that. I don't remember. Was that you, Dellinger, that was with me, or
Yeah, we were sitting at a oh I forget.
Villeneuve?
Yeah, it was yep. And then we were going back to our command truck to grab it, and GM just randomly showed up. He's like, "Hey, I know you," and it was like I guess a good 10-15 minute conversation. That dude killed us and then left. I'm still salty that I didn't get to kill him.
Yeah, yeah. They approached us. They talked about obviously Rome Platoon told them who we were, and that's kind of like where the whole conversation started. Rome Platoon. Um, they were literally, I think they were just telling them, just bit talking about us. They were telling them about what happened with the ARCL stuff, how we made it to the finals, and then they're, obviously we got labeled cheaters after that, and so on and so forth. Like, and then he was like, hey, those are the guys I want to talk to, right? um, and
Then you want to
that
talk
was
to the
his
best.
yeah, he wants to talk to the best, and he wanted to talk to us, right? And he was like, hey, we're gonna be playing in the ARCL, like, can you help us? I was like, sure, we're happy to train you guys, help you guys get prepared. And they wanted to PvP us in Legacy as well, and I was fine with that. But since we already had everything prepared on ARCL, ASS mode, then I was like, we're gonna have that match no matter what, and we solved that. We solved that issue. Anyway, so do you guys, when it comes to the PvP, and this is the last question that I have for PvP before we move on to another topic. Um, so what should members be required to demonstrate before joining the competitive roster? Like, what would help us
I
build a
would
reliable?
say an ability to listen and learn, to not just go like everything. You go off and do your own thing, and if it said otherwise, you don't give a fuck. No, that's not what we're looking for. Looking for people who are willing to learn. If you have great gun skill, great, amazing. We'd more than happy would like we would like that, but also to just be able to work with the team, follow a strategy, and to not get salty about if you don't get exactly what you want. I would say.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So that's one part. What about the second part where we have Discord members? Like are Discord members that don't like the idea of going into competitive matches, or that don't like, yeah, I mean, just don't agree with the regiment going in competitive matches. Like, why is there like why
Well,
is there that
I would
mentality?
just say, I
I
would just
didn't
say
know
like
such
don't
people
participate
existed.
then, because like us doing PvPs doesn't interfere with us doing our GMs and us doing our public matches. We still do those like every single week, every single day. We do pub matches every single week. We still do GMs. We're just tacking on PvPs on top of that. So like, if they don't enjoy it, then just simply don't participate in it.
I think it might be a misconception as well that maybe quite a few players don't understand that when it says PvP, it doesn't mean there's a bunch of mods you got to download. Because I've noticed that a lot of I wouldn't say discontent, but a lot of the arguments are about how many mods you have to use in certain game modes. Mostly, of course, in GM, but I think PvP has kind of been painted with a similar brush in a lot of people's eyes, in that they see
Well,
PvP.
that was because of ARCO, but like the past PvPs and all the practices we've done and the skirmishes we've done has all been vanilla.
Right, and
I
and
think
they've
we've
been
made that pretty
much,
clear.
and they've made that much better attended, I believe. And I think we've taken a step ahead in that respect, in that we don't have the console versus the PC players kind of attitude that I know quite a few people have. Not so much in our regiment, but I've noticed it in a lot of other matches. It's, when it seems like one type of player or user is being treated differently. I don't know. I think there's a gap that has to be broken down between console users and PC users. They seem to have slightly different ideas about how the game's played. Maybe that's just my misconception. I don't know. Apparently, that is my misconception.
I
No, I
would
agree with you, Mark.
I would say that ARM is a very large game. There's a lot that you can do within it. I mean, even though it's only 3 maps, well, 2 of the maps are rather big, right? And I think you get into the okay, well, what do you want to do? Some people prefer Legacy. Some people prefer HQ
HQC.
Commander. Yeah, HQC, and you can't please everybody. Bart, or not Bart, Belly, like you were saying, you can do as much or as little as you want. I don't think we should force anybody to do PvP. But I also
No, we
think that
don't.
it would be really fun to encourage people to do like a friendly PvP, like we're an in regiment PvP, just to kind of see if they like it, to see if it's something that they're interested in, if it's something that they want to learn more about. Explain, hey, you're not going to be stuck running Logi because you've never done PvP before, or you're not going to be stuck at this. Base that's on the super back lines because we've got to have it absolutely secured and you're the only one that can do it. Like there's plenty of roles and different maps and different setups come with different things that you can do, and I think that's important to get out there to everybody.
I will say though, but for friendly PvPs, obviously, I'm pretty sure this one we're doing like a random or like a draft, 2 random commanders and a draft.
Yeah.
But in the future, like if the same people in regular like actual like regiment versus Discord PvPs are running Logi, defending all the time, like give give other people chances to switch up the roles a bit. As yeah, it's an internal PvP where it's not really that much serious. It gives people a chance to branch out and try new things and not stuck in one area.
Yeah, and it also gives you abilities to, getting new people into it out. It gives you new abilities to test new methods, see people's leadership abilities. So, like, I like the random idea, right? You throw everybody's name into a random name generator and have it split the teams up and pick out the commander, and then the commander gets to divvy the work up. I think that's awesome. I think that's really, really good. I think one of the things that we would have to do is make sure that, Bart doesn't get stuck on Logi every single time. Right now,
Unless he
being good.
wants to. If he wants to be Logic, by all means. But of course, I've been trying to get Bart on the front lines more and more. So I'm telling you, man, he's becoming the killer.
I'm trying my best.
He's breaking his records.
Yes, except that match the other day when I died 18 times and got 2 kills. Other than that, we're doing good.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Warlord, I think we need to move on. We've been on this subject
we do
a
need
bit.
to move on. Let's carry on. So what do you guys think about what we have so far? Like the regiment, when it comes to the leadership, when it comes to the website that we have. I don't know if you guys taking the time to go to the website, but I think that's definitely one of those topics that we definitely want to touch on. The ranking system that exists. Like, are you guys familiar with the website? Are you guys familiar with the regiment portal? Are you guys familiar with how it works? Are you guys familiar with the ranking system and how it's going to work and the forums and all of that? What do you understand from it?
I think if I may start with me being the newest member, it's a lot at first, but it's also you can take it in pieces. So it's not like you have to immediately understand everything all at once. I'm still learning about the website. I was looking around on it the other day, and I think it's awesome that you are actively working on it. It's not something that you've forgotten about or tossed to the wayside. But I also think that the community here is also great in helping people understand and dissect that stuff. I mean, look at when we were starting this, right? We were all having some technical difficulties, and we worked together to get those fixed. So I think it's really awesome that we have that community. But it is a lot to take in when you first start. I'll keep it short.
Yeah,
I'd say-
go on.
Go ahead, Bart.
I was going to agree with Doniger actually, because that was one of the things I noticed that when I first joined. It does seem like there's a lot of hoops to jump through, but I think that since Warlords restreamed it, so to speak, he changed it up a little bit, and it doesn't seem quite as daunting. And I don't think it should be super easy or super complicated. It should be, if anyone's got the determination to get through the understanding how the portal works and how the training works, then that's going to make them a much better member of the team, as opposed to someone who could just join and fill out a couple of forms and say, yeah, my dog's name's Rosie. I like tea in the morning. Let's go kill people. It's not quite the same. So yeah, you need a little bit of a disciplined mind to look at all the stuff you have to do as a new recruit. And if you're willing to do that, then obviously you're willing to be part of a pretty to join the regiment. So I think the way it's set up now, it works really well, because you're not going to get the random guy that's just going to, like I said, just fill out a few bits of paper. You're going to get someone that's going to be a bit more committed once they get to the other end of it, and because then they understand as they go through the process, how it's going to be once you start playing with the whole team.
I would say knowing what's coming as a squad leader or platoon leader or TL, what's coming for the website. I would say that the forums and stuff, and keeping like attendance for events and things, like that's the reason for them to continuously go back to the website. But as like a squad member, I see the website is like, after you first go through it, there's not really much of a reason for you to go back there except for like rank promotions.
Right, but then that keeps your head in the right place, because you know that there are things you have to keep track of.
Yeah,
That makes
Yeah, well, first we have to understand, like, what's the purpose, right? Like, what's the purpose of the site, and at a quick glance, when you see the website, you see like the button to enroll, and then you've also got the login as a Discord. as a as a Discord member. Like you technically cannot join the technically cannot use the website if you're not a member. Like
Yeah.
if you have Discord but you're not part of the regiment, it won't let you. Like you're going to be denied access. Like you have to be part of the regiment. So every regiment member in theory should have access to the portal site, right? Even if they're new. And so, like, why do we want to make that possible? Because Discord does not offer that infrastructure. Discord doesn't offer um, the structure and the tools, and it does to an extent. It does to an extent. But it's limited. It just it doesn't track what's needed. Discord doesn't track what's needed, which is why, like, there's and again, we had so many channels on Discord that I think people were just getting lost in the sauce. And one of the things that I want to do was let's take a lot of the information that's on the Discord and start putting it on the website, and then all that information, like whatever information is essential and need to know information, stays on Discord, and good to know information goes to the site. So what's the idea behind the website? The idea behind the website, the portal, um, is so that team leaders, squad leaders, platoon leaders, regular squad members, and community members, especially squad members, can go and they can request a rank review. That hey, I've met all these requirements. I want to get a rank review, and then in theory, because right now we're implementing it and we're testing it, is that if Dollinger wants a promotion, if Bart wants a promotion, then they go straight to the website and request a rank review. After requesting it, then there is a notification that will go to Belly. But as a commander, as the commanding officer, I'll also receive that notification. And then that notification towards Belly will say, hey, Belly, you have a notification from Bart. Bart is requesting a rank review. These are the accomplishments that Bart has done. Like, these are the forms that Bart was supposed to fill out. These are Bart has already met his 30, 60, or 90-day requirement of the rank. And he has completed these requirements and he's ready to get promoted, right? And he can approve or he can deny it. But if he denies it, then obviously, like, it will tell, it would ask for a reason why he's been denied. And then so I'll, as a commanding officer, I'll be able to see that denial, and I have the ability to either approve it or override that denial, and I can choose to promote Bart. Um, and of course, this is where it comes down to, um, like a type of environment that is a meritocracy, where as long as Bart does what he's supposed to do and he makes those accomplishments, then Bart deserves the promotion. Because if you have a situation where, let's say that Belly and Bart don't get along, and Belly has the authority to um, deny Bart's rank approval, rank promotion, then that becomes a personal issue, and we don't want that. And so at that point, we're implementing strict controls that are in place in order to prevent that from happening. So we can keep personal issues aside, and we'll also give the ability to, let's say, this situation's happening with Bart. Bart's no longer comfortable with Death of Liberty, or he's no longer comfortable with Belly or his way of ruling. He can transfer to a different squad if he wants to. And so Belly will be notified, and then the new squad leader will be notified that Bart wants to join that squad, and that person can approve. But Belly's already been notified, and if there's a dispute in the middle, then obviously it's like we're not going to force Bart to stay in that squad if he's not comfortable there, because um, Belly wants to make a living hell off of off of Bart. And so we don't want that happen. We're implementing strict protocols that will improve the experience of the regiment member, so that we can make it fair for everybody. In the sense, not make it fair in the sense where like everybody gets a medal. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a decent and fair environment where your um, progress and your um, growth is valued and is accounted for, and that's why we have this, and that's why we're striving to that, and that's why we're going to get rid of what we used to have, which was, hey, I like you, I'm gonna, obviously, if we're gonna get rid of that nepotism, favoritism, where people get promoted only if they suck up to the leader, and not because of the accomplishments that that person has done. So that's one thing like that I want to start adopting, and that we should have started working off the bat, but we're evolving, we're growing, we're learning. I'm learning as part of this, and we're going to make that possible to where you cannot get promoted unless you met the requirements that you're supposed to meet, right? um, and that's what it's going to come down to, and everybody has to be able to understand that, because that is fairness, to give everybody the opportunity to grow inside this community and to show their worth based on the work that they have provided and that they demonstrated in the regiment. So, for some people, maybe that's too extreme. For some people, that is maybe beyond the video game. But you know, it's the way it is. And if they don't like it, then they can go look for another community that's more chill back, that has no structure, that has no protocols, that is unfair, unfit for everyone else, and where favoritism, um, is rampant, and everybody does what they want. But that's not what we're
Yeah,
doing
Bart,
here,
that's the last time you steal my crumpets, Bart.
and that's not what we're going to be, right?
Yeah, no more crumpet stealing.
Yeah. But anyway, um, but thank you guys again. Appreciate you guys, being part of this podcast. I don't know if anybody else has anything that they want to share, that they want to, you know, final final words
I think
here.
I think we're all moving in the right direction, and everything seems to be progressing at a decent pace. I mean, we're expanding, but we're not expanding too fast, and sometimes that can be a problem. So,
Yes.
We'll touch on the campaign side of things for GMs and stuff. So with the last one I did being pretty successful, I am starting up a new one. It's going to be a smaller one just to re-gauge the interest in those and then get some of the new guys familiar with the structure of the continuous story and branching paths that players can do and the consequences that come with them, and also to re-familiarize myself with the armor tools, because the players really enjoyed those custom armories that were built, and the guns and the equipment that were just laying around and that they could pick up. But so new campaigns are coming soon, like in the next week or two, I assume.
good news. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Ukraine the Ukrainian one was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, October is going to be coming soon. So August, September, October. So in a couple of months, we'll do the zombie campaign. I don't know if you were part of that, Bart, or some maybe.
No, I don't remember that.
So we will be picking up on the Halloween campaign, and so we will have a zombies events. We've had for the last 2 years. We've had those events, and they're very fun. So, um, definitely keep an eye out, and we'll definitely have more campaigns coming out soon as well. But also, big, thank you for our Patreon members as well for funding this, for funding the operations, for funding the website, funding the social channels that we have, funding the Discord, uh, funding the tools that we use, and everything that's a part of it. So we really appreciate the financial support from our Patreons. Thank you so much, and yeah, appreciate you guys. Dollinger, anything you want to share or?
No, I just want to say thanks to you guys. One, for having me on here. Two, just for being an awesome group of guys to play and hang out with. Um, I've got some of my other friends, and one of them will play Arma on occasion, and it's like pulling teeth to get them to play. So I have actually ditched them in favor of playing with you guys. And these are guys that I went to high school with and have known for 7, 10 years. Best friends, love them to death. But yeah, I've been ditching them for you guys just because y'all are a fun group of guys to hang out with, and the experiences that you guys provide in Arma are awesome. So thanks.
You're very welcome. Thanks
Not
for
you,
joining.
Bart.
Tell
Not you,
them, tell them
Bart.
to get their brain
Oh, okay.
unrotted.
No,
and join
wait,
us.
shouldn't you say sorry to me for parking us next to the FIA? Oh my God, that's FIA. Yeah, and you park me right in front of him. Thank you very much.
Someone's got to be a bullet sponge.
Oh, trust me, that's me. If there's ever a sponge or a
Bart.
fucking magnet, that's me.
Or if you want to know the strats, get on the driver. Don't get in the passenger seat up front. Get into the passenger seat behind the driver. So when you get shot, the driver gets shot first. And also, when the driver pulls off to engage the target, he tends to pull to his side to use the vehicle as cover. So when you get out on the same side as him.
Makes sense. I like the thinking. I shall do that in the future.
It's the little things.
I think
the little
D-Deck,
things.
the guy that's commenting here, I think he's either old school or Mr. Surus. I don't know which one it is. I think it might be. It's either one. It could be.
Who
old
D-Deck
school.
D-Deck 2021?
Yeah. I think it's either old school or it's or Surus. So I'm going to plant the seed and see what you guys think. Short situational, long form, bigger picture training videos. I've wanted to make these for a while now. In order to cut back on the standing around in a basic training talking session before the actual. Oh, it's Boners, Papa Boner. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Hear you. See you. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I think that's one thing we didn't touch on, but for sure, I think that we, right now, if you go to the Regiment Academy, there are some videos that we've created. For the most part, they are AI generated videos, but I think for the next time, like the next trainings that we have, we definitely need to start recording them, and we're going to start uploading them as well. We're going to upload them to the site, to the regiment website, and we're going to use those to train new members as well, so that way we can generate more training content for our guys, because that's going to help them develop, that's going to help them get better at the game. But at the same time, it's also very important for people to show up to those trainings, because that's where they get the hands-on experience. It's one thing to train when you're looking at something, and it's completely different experience when you're actually in the training call, right? When you're actually in the training and you guys have to, pick up a rifle or learn how to use a map or learn how to, use the BTR and fire on enemy helicopters and enemy air. I know, Dollinger, that's something that you need to work on.
Yep.
Shooting down helos and shit. we need to get better at armor. I think it's very important. I think the top three when it comes to like player versus player is learning how to use the BTR, learning how to, use tactics to take over an objective, learning how to use backpack radios or command trucks, and I do want to put like I want to add very minimal emphasis on CAS, because CAS is only effective when you have very few people doing it, not when you have like half of the fucking faction running helicopters, because now you don't have anybody supporting ground troops. Like, you don't have anybody actually going to take objectives. You got a bunch of people flying around, not really capturing objectives and just kind of holding everything back. But I do agree, we do need training, not only in training sessions, but also some of the training that we can develop, that can be shared on YouTube and on our website as well, and made exclusive to our website members. So anyway,
I think it's also important in those trainings that we show people like what weapons kill what vehicles. Are you trying to, and also are you trying to incapacitate a vehicle and kill the crew to take it over to capture it, or are you trying to destroy the vehicle outright? Hitting where the engine block is. When it comes to armor piercing ammo, where to shoot in the vehicle in order to kill the crew, and then also for the tracer rounds, incendiary ammo for taking out helicopters, as one mag is all it takes. And even then, you don't even have to use the entire mag to take out a helicopter. That type of stuff. And also, like, what rockets are viable in what areas. So it's like those things are definitely important to share in the trainings.
yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
Well, go ahead, Bart.
No, I was agreeing with Belly that I have become very aware of my lack of shooting down helicopter skills. As in, just learning that kind of stuff.
I would say, Bart, for most guns, it's better. You're better off hip firing, especially if you have a gun full of tracers. Just hip fire, and then aim. Use the tracers to aim.
Yes, but when I'm shooting a RPG, the RPG is the tracer, and there's only one of it.
RPG is a bit harder to hit fire.
Yeah, I've got the shooting down with the machine gun and tracers thing. I'm pretty good at that, but it's definitely the single shot RPG thing that gets me every time.
Unfortunately, in armor, there's no way to tell the wind direction before you shoot.
Right.
And also, on top of that, the wind direction changes a lot. So even when you do shoot your next shot, the wind direction could have already changed, and you're adjusting.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just. I guess it's just a case of practice.
It's those things where the human you use the same things when you throw a ball, for instance. Like you just take your gut feeling, you use your eyes to adjust ranges and all that, and you take your best guess on the shot.
Gotcha.
And then obviously follow-up shots, you adjust. But that's how I do it.
Right.
Makes sense.
Again, we're at the final part of this podcast, but thank you guys again. Thank you so much for joining. Bart, thank you, Bart. Thank you, Dellinger.
Welcome.
Belly, for being part of it. We'll be hosting our next podcast next month. Just keep a lookout. If we have it next month, we just keep a lookout, and I hope to see you guys back again. If you have the bandwidth, if you have the time to, would love to have you guys back. Let's definitely look forward to the next topics of what we're going to talk about on the next podcast. And yeah, thank you for being part of this community, and thank you to our Patreon members again. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much.
Alrighty. Good night.